Going to call the June 1st regular council meeting to order at 7:19 p.m. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
McKeever.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Me.
Here.
Truca.
Here.
Sherrick.
Here.
Vote.
Here.
Alsup.
Here.
Before you are the minutes from the May, that's what was added here when I swapped out the packet cover. The May 18th, 2021 regular meeting. Aaron had emailed them out to everybody sometime last week. Does anybody have any concerns with the minutes?
Only, if I may, Mr. President, that I got Aaron's email, but didn't have a chance to send you my updated minutes. Do you want to wait on this and let me send those to you until the next time we meet?
Well, that was for the May 20th regular, that's not the May 18th actual council, so.
Yeah, that's different than what the committee minutes in
Page
this.
3, I noted that you said you didn't have my minutes. As long as you're okay there with that, I'm fine.
Hopefully it's not like that.
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Granting permission for visitors to speak. Is there any visitors that want to address council? Please go to the podium, state your name and address.
Carolyn Shireman, 1065 East Beale Avenue. I'm sure I'm going to say some things here that I don't really know, so hopefully council can inform me better. First off, Bucyrus City Council is for the people, by the people. However, that is not how we feel. I come to you as a resident of Bucyrus and the founder of the Positive Seekers. I have been watching the live council meetings and I am so disappointed in what I see and I hear, and I need to have my voice heard. You won my vote for the platform that you ran on, but once you sat in the council seat, your platform went by the wayside. The residents of Bucyrus didn't matter anymore, only your agenda did. I don't understand, as a paid council member from our taxpayers' money, why you do not have to attend few, if any, meetings. Why are we, the residents, paying you? Kurt Fankhauser was voted in as president for his transparency platform. I feel that he is doing that, but he has also become a target by members of council, and that also is apparent. There is a council member here who ran on being the voice for the people. It is sad to many citizens that she did not run to keep her seat. We, the people, were very pleased with her. Council can do so much better than they are doing right now. Remember, the actions that you are displaying today will determine your future votes. Citizens have questions such as, where did the CARES Act money get spent? Why is there no publication for the residents to view where it went? Do the citizens not have a right to know? How can council make a unanimous vote to set aside monies allotted to a certain project only to have the mayor ignore such vote? Most citizens, when they are heard, are against any more parks in our town. We believe all Mueller Park could be upgraded with funds that are being spent on a new park. Why don't our voice matter? You want to know why no one attends the city council meetings? Let me just say that we are losing our faith in this council and this mayor. I am sure you all will continue your term in office, but you may not be so lucky come election time. Citizens see the police, fire, and ambulance services as a genuine priority, not trees or more parks. Bucyrus needs more factory jobs, better infrastructure for side streets and alleys, and city parking. It seems that the monies go to businesses who can scratch city officials' back. That seems to be the nature on how the city is run. Invest in our kids, our seniors, and our working class. The CARES Act money did not help the residents in any way, but the small businesses jumped on the opportunity. It is time for council to hear the people who put you there. One final note for Lisa. Many say that Lisa is good with money. Maybe Lisa, you should consider city auditor position next time around. What the people did want was something for the whole family, something for the kids and the entire family. At the farmers market, the positive seekers were asked about red, white, and blues quite often. They would talk about the fun the kids had and all there was for everyone. They loved sitting in their chairs listening to the various bands, knowing their children were safe with the city police and DARE. The food from various vendors and the crafts and the chainsaw that created magic right in front of their eyes. The cannon that made everyone cover their ears. The dunk tank that Chief David Kepke was in. I didn't think he was ever going to get out. Watching his co-workers come just to spend $1 to take a chance to dunk him. Even the little kids took a chance. The radio station doing coverage, Spider-Man, Uncle Sam, Princess Elsa, and so much more. The cameraman told us his kids were so tired they wanted to go home and not go to the fireworks. A bicentennial park does not offer any of this. The positive seekers will never give up having it in our red, white, and blues, even if we have to go out of town to get sponsors. What a shame. But you enjoy your bratwurst. Nothing is free there. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, what's red, white, and blues?
Red, white, and blues is a thing that we put on at All Miller Park. And we wanted it free for everybody. We had vendors, we had food, we had music, we had 5 different bands.
When did you guys do this?
When
did you do this?
3 years ago, and we wanted to have one at this bicentennial this year, but we couldn't get sponsors. I had one sponsor that wanted to put in, but he would go with, I asked Mark McKeever, and he was going to check on Timken for me. Dr. Britton, the eye doctor, was going to put in also. But since nothing come up with Timken, red, white, and blues went by the wayside. But we had a bicentennial park. So once again, the kids have nothing. They have nothing. So maybe somebody can answer some of my questions.
I'd like to reply. Can you and I get together for coffee sometime this week? Because you've made about 20 different points in there to where I'd like to reply, but I'm not going to do it right here because we don't have the time. And I'd like to reply to all those and have a conversation with you.
I would like the council to reply, not just one person.
Okay. Well, we all legally can't meet with you for council or for coffee.
well, I'm not asking. I was asking if there was any comments, you could do them right here. But I'm sorry that my questions, so what you're telling me is my questions and my concerns are not important enough.
I'm sure I
No,
didn't
not
say
you,
those words.
Lisa.
I didn't say those words.
Well, why would I have to meet you to talk over these when
Because I offered to explain many
And I
things.
asked the council to explain it to me. The council as one, not one person.
I can say my reason for leaving is because of family.
Okay. Well, I don't need to know the reason,
I
but I
don't
want
run
you
again.
to know that the city,
I intend on running, but not this time.
Yeah.
My grandkids are first.
yeah, the city will miss you.
Thank you. And I don't want Joyce's job.
That was just,
No offense, Joyce.
well, I'm just saying that because people told me that you were really great with money, and I thought, well.
I'm just really great at making something out of nothing.
Exactly, and I think down the road, at one point, you would be good at that.
Well, if I may, I'm going to go through my list that
I'd be very
I,
happy, because I'm out of here.
I'm going to
Pardon?
go through my list that I made here real quickly, and then I still would like to get together with you. One of your comments was that police, fire, and EMS is not of importance to us. You're
I did
wrong.
not say that.
You sure did.
No, I did not. Did you hear in my letter where I said, nowhere in here did I say,
Would you please read the sentence where you referred to police, fire, and EMS so I could properly answer that?
I did not say they
Okay,
weren't
would you
important.
please read the sentence that referred to police,
Excuse
fire, and
me,
EMS?
can I find it, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, then don't rush me. I said, citizens see the police, fire, and ambulance services as a genuine priority, not trees or more parks.
Okay.
So that, you can scratch that one out.
Well, no, we believe that police, fire, and EMS are also a priority. They can coexist with other things.
That wasn't my point.
Okay. You're mentioning about money going to businesses. Could you elaborate what your concern is with that?
Well, I got on Facebook and I looked and I can tell you how much money the businesses in this town got off of the CARES Act.
That didn't come from us.
Not from the city, ma'am.
$0 came from the city of Bucyrus to the businesses.
That's from the county, yeah.
Wherever the money went from the CARES Act. Mayor, did you take any?
Did I take any?
Did you put in for stimulus for your business?
No, zero.
Really?
I will say that we did ask for and received a list, a complete breakdown, because I was adamant about it. I wanted to see where every penny of the CARES Act money went. And I believe that information, I'm able to share that, am I right? I have no problem sharing that information. with
But
you.
why can't you put it publicly somewhere so all the
I don't know
citizens
that it
can
wasn't.
see it?
I'll give you a personal copy.
Thanks, James.
I would rather you just,
It's okay.
We all have it. We all have that. We all have that. I was disheartened where some of the CARES Act money went, and that went live. But none of the area businesses were given any money. from
but I might have the two things different.
Yeah, that's the county. The
Yes,
county
that's
gets
not
the
what I mean.
businesses.
I mean, like the mayor put in for his, and if I'm not mistaken, you got $1,500.
Absolutely, you don't know that, and I resent that you would even say that.
Well, I can tell you that Joe Graham brought it up on the computer and showed it, and it had all the businesses. It had Baker's Brothers, it had everybody.
From what? From where?
For a loss in your business
From where did the money come from?
from the stimulus, from the government.
Had nothing to do with the city of Bucyrus.
It was from the county.
I got nothing from the county. I didn't apply for any of it.
Well then, okay.
And you talk about trees and stuff. Didn't you call me the other day and want a free tree? You did.
Well, for Dougie, yes. I live at Ridgewood Senior Village, I wouldn't get
So
one.
trees are important to you?
But that's not what well, if you're gonna offer Dougie a free tree, he's gonna take it. But that wasn't my point. You know what? You're twisting the point of what I'm trying to say.
You said people don't care.
Trees and parks are not the priority for this town. They are for you, but they are not for the citizens.
Well, you.
What does the park have to do? What does the park, Mayor, what does the park offer the children?
This is not a city park. The city has nothing to do with this.
What does it offer the kids of this town?
Carolyn. What do you got to say, Aaron?
Carolyn, the parks are being cleaned up. I don't like the idea of having to get more money for the parks and not figuring out ways that we can do what we've got and get more people to work together to volunteer. But the parks being cleaned up are giving the kids more things to do again. We have more kids playing baseball again. We have more kids playing soccer. I got to take my kids down to the park yesterday for something to do on Memorial Day. It is nice because it gives us something to do with the kids. And hopefully with the Y getting the pool fixed, they'll do that too.
Hopefully, is the pool open yet?
No.
Somebody asked me about the pool, and
They
I
had
said,
to- they had
probably
to-
not.
They had to do some repairs because of some vandalism over the winter.
I think they had to do repairs last year. Did it ever get opened?
Yeah, last year it did get opened, but they had to do repairs this year because of some vandalism.
Do you see
over
my
the winter.
point?
No, I do.
No.
I do.
There is nothing for the kids in this town. Nothing. You know Belleville, where I'm from? Right there at the square at Belleville in the wintertime, they build a frame and they freeze it over. So they have ice skating there. Then, when the water all melts and that, they take it down. You can't even tell it was there. And you can take pictures of everybody else ice skating out there, something so simple. And we put money into trees. And how many more parks are we going to have?
We actually used to do that over at the old water tower.
Yeah, well, you know what? The Positive Seekers wanted to do that before, and David Kepke told us that he'd been trying to do it. And guess what? It never got done. We talked to Muntz Prinstall, we talked to Dave, we talked to a lot of people. Nothing is being done in this town. Nothing. People are so upset. That's why people don't come here. Why? We're not being heard. Kurt, we thank you for bringing the transparency to us, and I hope you keep doing that because that's what you ran on. And that opened you up to be a target.
I appreciate that it's noticed that I am bringing transparency to this city, Carolyn.
That's what you ran on. That's why people voted for you. It's like nobody knows where the money in this town goes. No citizens, there's no place we can go that we see a paper stating how much money went here. Where'd our tax money go? Where is it?
The auditor knows where it all went.
But the auditor, but she's not putting anything out for the citizens.
So it's on the website.
It is all public information.
A lot of people don't have computers too.
It's not as detailed on, there's a lot more details of where the money is gone that still is not being put out there.
I
There's a
understand
general
that some of it you
high-level
can't tell, but
Overview.
that don't make sense either. It's our tax money.
I would like to see every invoice that the city gets billed for, like the actual invoice and what those items were on it. I would like to see that somewhere on the website.
Right.
And that's what I would like to see us get to. There's gonna be a lot of computer stuff that has to happen in order for us to
I
get
understand
to
that
there.
too, but you understand what I'm saying? Residents and citizens here have no idea where their money's going. None. We don't have any idea.
And I will say, we're really trying to get it to where it's back on TV so that people can view the meetings from home.
And you know what? I watch these meetings and that, you know how many people watch the live meetings?
About 50-ish.
On mine, it shows 3. On mine, it shows 3.
Well, if that may be 3 that's watching it live, but if they watch it after the fact.
Right, but I'm saying live.
Yeah.
That ought to tell you something,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, Carolyn, I really appreciate that letter you wrote. And I think we can continue this discussion, but we are way over the 5 minutes for this.
I know, because I don't know when to shut up, because I had a lot to say. And I can get that, but I don't mean disrespect to anybody. I'm just a citizen that has questions, and I don't like when people treat other people that sit on a council wrong. Y'all come in here and didn't know nothing when you all come in. You know, you're all supposed to help each other and not let us see that out on TV. You can feel the tension. It's not good. Says a lot.
Is there anybody else who would like to address council during the public participation period?
Kurt, are we streaming live?
Yes.
My wife says we're not.
She says we're not?
Showing that we are. Okay. I'll tell her she's wrong, and she'll call.
John said she.
Yeah, you tell her she's wrong, I want to watch.
Charge admission.
Write down who gave you information.
Okay, I'm seeing it live and there's 48 viewers here. Okay, no other public participation. We're gonna move on to communications and petitions. There are 3 letters. I'm going to let the council clerk here read those letters. Well, actually, you know what? You can read the FOP one, but the other ones, they're just routine liquor letters, liquor department letters. So just read the FOP one.
Dear Business District friends, greetings from the dedicated members of Bucyrus Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 68. We are honored to serve the citizens of Bucyrus and excited to announce the annual Cruise-In with the Cops will be held on Saturday, June 12th, 2021. To accommodate for the classic vehicles in attendance, the streets in the downtown business district will be closed from Mary Street to Oakwood Avenue at 12 noon on Saturday, reopening between 10 p.m. and 12 midnight Sunday morning. As a friendly reminder, please have personal vehicles moved from public parking areas in the business district by 12 noon on Saturday. We apologize for the temporary inconvenience. However, we thank you in advance for your understanding and continued support of such a great Bucyrus tradition. Should you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me at the Bucyrus Police Department, 419-562-1006, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. Sincerely, Thomas Walker, President of the Bucyrus Fraternal Order of Police.
Okay, so we already passed legislation for the street closure, so they're just reminding everybody of their event, and they have in bold removing the vehicles during the times from the street.
Do we need to accept and file that?
We'll wait till we get past the other 2 here, and then we'll accept and file. And then there's 2 letters here from Liquor Department. We need to refer those to the Health and Safety Committee. Okay, who,
So Foat and Truca.
do you get that square, that paper with the squares? So just put liquor licenses, and then Health and Safety, and then who first and seconded? Okay, all in favor of referring those to Health and Safety, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Those are going to the Health and Safety Committee. We need a motion to accept and file all the 3 letters.
So moved.
Second.
Is that
Go there, your mic was on.
Myers and Sheriff?
I'll never remember to turn that thing on. It's a good thing we only got about 28 more meetings for me to forget. But who's counting?
I get A and F, accept and file. Don't,
Actually, council today, just 28 left.
all in favor of accepting them, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Those are accepted and filed. You now have the, we had regular committee meetings on Thursday, May 20th. This separate paper that's stapled together, that is all the minutes from that draft minutes. So I'm gonna let Aaron start it out with public lands and building.
Thanks. Okay, Bucyrus City Council joint regular committee meetings met Thursday, May 20th, 2021, from 6 PM to 8:20 PM. Members present: Mark McKeever, Kevin Myers, James Mee, Bruce Truca, Sierra Sherrick, Doug Fote, and Lee Salsa. Bucyrus City joint regular committee was called to order by Sierra and Sherrick at 6 PM. Public participation: we had Christy Hoffman. Do you want me to read it word for word or just paraphrase?
That's up to you.
It's up to you.
She had asked about some drainage backups, in which Jeff Dunn and Lynn McKeever answered some questions about the work that they're doing in her area. Gary Brown from the same area throughout at Frida Drive had also mentioned the same problems and was asking if some of the area businesses were part of the cause. And by the end of it, Mayor Reeser talked to the homeowners and got information to follow up with them later. Number 3, the order of committee business. Public lands and buildings met from 6:10 PM to 6:27 PM. Members present: Sherrick, yeah, I messed that up, sorry. Sherrick read the minutes from previous meeting and asked everyone to look over the corrections on the others. Mark McKeever, Doug Fote, Bruce Truca, and Sierra and Sherrick chair. Previous minutes: Truca asked for corrections prior to approving the minutes from Thursday, May 6, 2021 meeting. Truca stated that Fote's name was where his should have been about the use of one entry door. Fote moved to accept the minutes from April 20th and 22nd of 2021 meetings with a second by McKeever. Motion passed by voice vote, but the minutes from May 6th were tabled until the next meeting. Then we talked about an easement for a sewer tap on Beale Avenue. Ratliff explained the request that was from a resident about doing a sewer tap that was going through a private property into the public property. McKeever asked to have the area pointed out on a map. Sherrick asked if that would make the water issues in the area worse. Dunn and McKeever gave information on those issues and stated that it wouldn't. And Truca made a motion to allow the survey for the assessment to be done with a second by Fote. Motion passed by voice vote. Then we talked about ordinance 13/2021, in which Sherrick apologized for mistakenly having it put on that meeting instead of the next full council meeting. And then Sherrick recessed public lands and buildings at 6:27 PM.
Does anybody have any questions for public lands and building? I'll move on. Service, Mr. Truca.
We're skipping health and safety.
Oh,
If you want,
Nice try.
I'll be brief.
Darn.
I guess we'll go to health and safety then with Mr. Myers.
Health and safety met 6:27 to 6:40 PM on Thursday, May 20th. All 4 members were present, and other than the previous minutes being approved. Fire chief spoke about the continuing plans for EMS to be taken care of in-house with the townships that were currently interested, with potential more to be added later. Also discussed some CARES Act money and how that might be utilized in the fire department and hiring additional staff. Talked about the Kramer report, if we've received that yet, and making sure the nursing homes were taken care of on their private transports. And we also did legislation that allowed the safety service director to enter into contracts with townships that are interested, and we recessed at 6:40 PM.
Does anybody have any questions for health and safety?
Yes, I do. I was actually asked a question this morning about whether when Bucyrus takes over EMS, if the insurance companies will cover the runs, because someone told me that last year his wife had to be taken by ambulance somewhere, and their insurance would not cover the run because they said they wouldn't cover anything run by Portsmouth.
So from my personal experience with that, two different things here. We've got a private company versus a government run entity. Emergency by most insurance companies is taken care of as long as they transport to the closest, most appropriate facility. Now, a non-emergency or a private non-emergency emergent run, say from Bucyrus Hospital to Riverside, things like that, a lot of insurance companies have to have contracts with that private company, and if that private company charges X amount, but the insurance company only authorizes, similar to going to your doctor and things, then that's more that the patient will have to make up. Likewise, the facilities have to also be contracted with those, like for me, I've got Medical Mutual. I know there's certain hospitals I can and can't go to. Mm-hmm. If I go in here and have a heart attack and they want to send me to the Cleveland Clinic, my insurance may not be accepted there. But for our intents and purposes, we're just going to be doing emergency work, and so it should be anything that's covered, should be covered under that premise.
Okay, he indicated that you had to get permission from the insurance company before you
So
could transport.
private ambulance companies for non-emergent transports are required to get a pre-authorization for billing for Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance, whereas for an emergency run going to the ER is not necessary for that.
Thank you, that clarifies
Sure,
it.
clear as mud.
What he, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions for health and safety? Moving on, service, Mr. Truca.
Okay, Service Committee met at 6:40 PM to 7:02 PM. Members present were Kevin Myers, Lisa Alsep, C. Aaron Sherrick, and myself, Chair. Airport fueling, no information as of yet. I asked if Lynn McKeever had any info on the topic. Lynn McKeever stated that Galleon has a self-serve gassing station already, and Marion is putting one in now. We're informed that the tanks we have now are newer at our airport. So it'd be needed that we could install the pumps, the credit card machine. He stated that Kevin has talked about it, and agreed that maybe now would be a good time to do these projects. Dumpsters for cleanup. Alsep stated that there was a newspaper article about how Galleon had just done a cleanup. She told me that she had tagged them in it. Myers asked her to send it out to everyone. Alsep said that the Galleon had dumpsters downtown on their cleanup day. Citizens were allowed to bring in 4 bulk items. There was someone there to monitor it and check IDs to make sure that the people were residents. Myers stated that he had asked about this before. Jeff Dunn stated that the first problem with this is that he had no spare dumpsters. He currently has 12 to 15 bad ones with no way to repair them. Myers stated that years ago that we did this, we had large dumpsters, and he knows that we don't have those anymore. Maybe we should look into renting some. Research stated this would cause undue stress on the already limited solid waste fund because none of this is free. Alsep stated that she has seen how money can be moved. Maybe we could do something. Myers said that we should get some estimates just to see what it would cost. When we have those numbers, then we will see if this is feasible. Research stated he would get estimates. Me asked that a 20-yard dumpster was about $350 from Mons the last time he had checked. Truca asked Dunn if there was a way we could figure out how much steel we would need and a local company willing to sell us steel at a reasonable cost to repair the dumpsters. Dunn stated that one of his employees had repaired 5 of these this year, but there is no money available. There is no money to buy new dumpsters. He'd like to create a plan for a repair shop to create pieces for them to weld in themselves. This way we can get the dumpsters back out into use. It'd be a quicker way to take care of the issue. McKeever asked if we had a tandem axle dump truck. Dunn stated that we have one that needs to be engine work and one that should be picked up sometime this week that has had body work done to it. McKeever asked if we could use a front end loader and use the dump trucks for a cleanup day to keep from costing more money renting something. Fankhauser stated that we could give a guy a couple extra dollars for cleanup Saturdays once a month. Lynn McKeever stated that he could fill a 20-yard dumpster with 30 rentals. He said that the first time Galleon did this, they had a lot brought in from out of the area. He reminded everyone that the people will abuse this. Allsep stated that we should reach out to Galleon about how they do theirs for guidance. Truca stated that the county collected tires one year at the fairgrounds, stated that we would have to watch out for different items as well. He knows we do a cleanup already this year. We have already done a cleanup this year. Dunn stated that there's a lot of people that don't take advantage of it. Reeser stated he would check into this. Previous minutes, there were none. As far as Kincora Drive, Fankhauser asked Dunn about the Kincora issues. Dunn stated that it was going to take more than they had thought and not yet been able to talk to the mayor about it. Basically, they dug it open and it started to cave in on them. Lynn and him met with a contractor and told him to fill it back in. They are now working on a plan to fix the storm and the sanitary sewers at the same time. If they don't do it right, the road will fall in. The sanitary sewer is where the problem is. When they constructed the storm sewer, it was placed above. When you take it out, it takes the other with it and the curb as well. The area is where Lutz is building new homes, so it'd be the best to get him building down the road a little ways prior to this starting this. Also, the contractor is booked up currently and cannot fit it in a project this size at this time. The funds have not yet been authorized at this time either, so they have filled it in for now. It would worked out perfectly.
When they put it in.
Okay, when they put it in. They are hoping to keep the project at a 70-foot overall length. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They told the woman that whose yard they tore up, it was going to be fixed. Okay, I recessed at 7:02 p.m.
Any questions for service?
Don't ask me any questions.
Okay, finance, Mr. McKeever.
Well, I'm definitely not gonna read this verbatim. It's 6 pages long. No way I'm gonna read this.
Could you repeat that?
I'll repeat that. No, I'm not gonna read the entire thing. Basically, we met from 7:02 to 8:19 p.m. All members are present, which was Kevin Myers, James Mee, and Bruce Truca, and myself, Chair. Minutes were approved. Myers moved to accept the minutes, and Mee seconded. We didn't discuss the dumpsters because there was no information on that yet. We discussed about the Community Development Block Grant, the Cdbg. For the sidewalks, this was to extend sidewalks out to the health department on Isaac Beale Road. There was a lot of discussion. It's 1,700 feet of sidewalk from the railroad tracks on east to the health department. It came to an approximate cost of $148,162.11. A lot of discussion about this, that we applied for this. We have a separate grant that we are also applying for, and that is to go out to Walmart. And that was significantly higher. It came to approximately $447,170. And that, reason that is, it's for 3,000 feet from Penn Avenue all the way to Aldi's. And that includes curb work and storm sewers and multiple issues since it's going to change the south side of Mansfield Street. And there's quite a bit of information in here that they're applying for this grant. That continues on. There's quite a bit of discussion over this. Then brought up about the Park City parking lot number 3. After a lengthy discussion, estimated cost is between $60,000 to $80,000. They are working on that. Lynn McKeever is pursuing that to get us an exact price on that, to come back to us later this month, I believe, our third Thursday of the month that he's coming to discuss that with us. On again, it is a lengthy discussion about that, about where the money came from when we sold the parking lot to Bakers and so forth. The next item came up was the bill at Manpower, which we discussed on how to set this up. And we came up with the 2 ordinances, which we amended tonight, but it was ordinance 16-2021 and ordinance 17-2021. We had them drawn up, and then we were going to discuss them tonight, which we did. We discussed about hours and pay, and we came to a conclusion on that. Truca made a motion to get rid of the ordinance number 13-2021 with a second by me. Some discussion with that, and it passed by voice vote to be taken out. We had discussion on how many people to interview for the council clerk, and there was 5 who submitted minutes that they composed themselves from our previous meeting. And we came to the conclusion to interview 5, to extend that to 5 of the applicants. And I asked for everyone to submit questions so that to Mr. Fankhauser, so that we could have them compiled and ask them the same questions. And I recessed finance at 8:19 p.m. Number 4, public participation, there was none. Bill Stuckert was thanked for staying through the whole meeting. Number 5, adjourn. McKeever asked for a motion to adjourn. Sherrick made a motion with a second by Alsep. Motion passed by voice vote. Meeting was adjourned at 8:20 p.m.
Okay, backing up.
Do we gotta amend your packet since economic development was listed in the standing committee reports?
No,
Okay.
no, because you can
Just making sure. That's all.
give us an update if you know anything that you think we need to know. I don't think the
We've heard
finance,
from the last minutes.
I don't think the finance committee voted to scrap ordinance 13-2021.
Yeah, they
we
scrapped
did.
their
Yeah, we
portion
did.
of it.
Yes, we did.
Remember, there was the 2 different portions?
Yeah, we're good.
So there was the
Okay.
public lands was the
Okay.
one, but the other one.
So the
we
part,
already-
the public lands and
Yeah.
buildings
Public lands
voted
and
on
buildings was separate.
still good?
Right.
Okay.
The other was who controlled council clerk.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else on the finance committee? Yeah.
How do you spell Mons?
M-O-N.
It is two N's.
Yeah, it's 2 N's.
It's not moms.
And I think I'm pretty sure,
I knew it wasn't two after I started looking at that. I was like, I know that's
I want to say
wrong.
it was like for a 20-yard, I want to say I paid right around $300 6 months.
On
ago,
page
something like
5, it's a bed bug, not a bad bug.
There's bed bugs?
that. That's still a bad bug. It's a bad bug, man. I don't know who you're thinking, but that's a bad bug.
Where was the bad bug?
Oh, it's about
Halfway?
a third of the way up, clear on the left.
That's a bad bug. Bad, whatever. It's still a woman.
While we're pointing out spelling errors,
Oh, here we go.
page 4, council at the bottom, 5 lines up from the bottom, spelled the wrong kind of council.
Oh, yeah.
Your spell check must be set to a
It
lawyer's
was,
office.
it was exactly that. I went through and I was like, why is this correcting all these?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, so I had to go back through and
I
get
just
all
happened to
that
catch
stuff.
that one when we read through them.
Did you set spell check for the session?
No, but when you use it for that profession, that's where it goes.
Okay, anybody have anything else for finance? We're gonna ask Doug if he's got anything new on economic development.
No, I do not.
Nothing new. No Dora updates?
I wish, but there's nothing back yet. You know, we get things, so that way we can approve it and get it moved on, but.
Yeah, you give tonight's report on that.
Finance met tonight at Tuesday, June 1st, from 6:48 to 7:17 PM. Kevin Myers, Bruce Truca, and James Me present, and myself chair. We discussed the two ordinances. 16-2021 and 17-2021 with the corrections that were made to it. And we made only one grammatical correction on both legislations. Kevin made the motion for each of the ordinances, with Bruce seconding both of the ordinances, and they both passed by voice vote. Adjourned at 7:17 PM.
You got a question on that?
Well, yeah. Not exactly that, but you also had the special finance meeting last week that I didn't have anything.
Yeah, I couldn't,
about.
I got lost in minutes and emails again.
Well, no, there was just nothing that had been posted in either Facebook or on the website, the audio.
I
So-
got those up either
sure.
late last night or this morning.
After the fact.
There it is.
Okay, so that's another set that
We'll
we've got
have
to
to
get.
bring that up at the next one.
Well, I know these don't all get passed till Thursday anyway, but that's one that we've got to get in there. Hint, hint.
Those were short meetings. It went into executive session and there really wasn't, it was all off the
It
record
was the
discussion.
interview.
Still have to do the minutes.
Right.
Yes, we'll put that.
I'll make that motion.
Make the motion for what?
To accept the
To
committee
accept the
minutes.
committee minutes.
Well, they're not committee minutes, they're just committee reports.
I can Myers seconded that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Report of city officers, Mr. Mayor.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm going to defer to Mr. Myers.
We wanted to make sure that everybody got to meet our new clerk. If you wanted to take a moment to introduce her, he thought that would be appropriate.
She showed up at 1 o'clock today, and I helped her. This is Rebecca, by the way.
Take her last.
How do you say your last name?
Van Hestern.
Van Hesteren.
Okay, we're gonna see if we can fit that on the name thing there. They might have
Small
to scale
print.
it down. But we tried to put a packet together for the meeting tonight, and she went around and met pretty much everybody today. She met the auditor, she met everybody in the mayor's office. Has not met the city attorney here. This is Rob,
You don't want to be.
Mr. Ratliff. She has met the finance committee members. So the other council members you haven't met, that's,
You're new here, right?
this is Aaron Sherrick, Doug Fote, and Lisa
And
Alsop.
I know her.
I know all but one.
I'm thinking we went to school together, at the same time anyways, most of the same group of people we hung around with.
I have no idea.
You're that old?
Did you go to Winford?
No, I didn't say go to the same school, I said graduate at the same time.
Okay.
Oh,
Welcome Rebecca.
Yep.
Best of luck to you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's Mayor Reeser.
We've already met.
She said she's been following our council for quite some time.
She still applied for the job, huh?
Right.
So she,
When do we vote her in?
I got that clear on the
I
back
say,
here.
because
Coming up.
shouldn't we have had her, like, moved up towards the front?
Well, so the reason I didn't put it all the way up the front is because of this 17, the 16 and the 17 has to pass.
Did anybody fix those in the computer and print them out? Or was it just the one word?
Just the one word.
Okay. That's easier.
So, I don't have a formal report, just wanted to kind of ad lib on the Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, it was a great weekend for the city of Bucyrus historically. The Preservation Society was able to acquire a caboose, one of the original ones from, I can't remember the year it was, but Dave Princeton and the group did a fantastic job, their board, of acquiring and restoring. Kenny Mead also had a big hand in that. Thank you, Kenny. If you drive by the train station, which is one of our artistic and architectural treasures in this community, you'll see the caboose there. And the inside has not been restored yet. That's on. They're going to raise some money for that. It was a good day. We had a lot of fun, and it was a nice turnout. Memorial Day was another very good day. Bicentennial Committee really kicked it up this year, and a very large crowd at the cemetery honoring those that have fallen in battle, defending the country, and had lunch. And then afterwards, we had a lot of fun with the cemetery walk. And I hope many of you were able to take part and see the volunteers who portrayed very important people in this community who were either veterans or served the country in a special way. Our own Doug Fote over there, right over there, did a beautiful job.
I said it like 20 or 30 times.
Said what?
His Beale.
Oh,
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
It was really nice. I thought it was, I honestly expected, because of the way the Memorial Day ceremony ended and the gap of time in between, I thought that we were going to be without an audience, but
Yeah.
it was actually pretty packed in the cemetery.
Yes, it was a nice
Good
crowd.
sight for people.
It was a beautiful day, and Randy Fisher. I mean, all the actors did a fantastic job, and you know, especially Harry Martins was very poignant, and you know, of course, you know what we all thought of Boyd. Yeah, great guy. So anyway, we'll do it again hopefully next year. The idea of the bicentennial this year, we had two ideas. One was to give our young people a sense of history of this community, because it really isn't taught in the schools. So we have a 200-year history, actually 202 years if you count the years that the Norton family arrived. And then also to pass that history on to their families, as well as taking ownership of the community. Again, there's a lot of distractions. People are busy, traveling, cell phones, internet. So it's great to get out and do things together as a community. I think people there really appreciate it. Today I was at such an event teaching the kids about history. Spoke to the Winford third grade classes, 4 of them, as part of junior achievement. Mr. Basinger, one of our fine residents, is the volunteer coordinator for that, and I typically speak at the Winford and Crawford students every year. COVID kind of wreaked havoc there, but I got to speak with the Winford kids this year, had a great time, and told them about the city's history. And finally, the flowers are going up, I believe, tomorrow downtown. In had some questions on it. And the good news is, if they put them up last week, the wind would have done a lot of damage to them, so I think tomorrow is the day, from what the Maynards told me, so that should add even a little more beauty to the downtown. So that's all for tonight.
Anybody have any questions for the mayor? Mr. Fever?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I got a phone call from a friend of mine who's a resident here, who's having issues with our water billing. He paid his bill online, and he's facing shut off, and he wasn't the only one. There were several others. While he was in the office, there was somebody else who called in that had the same issue. What can we do about this? This is coming out of hand.
Is it an automatic deduction from the bank?
No, he paid it online, and that he has the receipt from his online payment, and it hasn't been received here. And it's looking like he's gonna have to come up with $450, which...
Well, this is the first I've heard about it, so I mean, if he had a real problem, he should call our office or the utility office, and we certainly could address it.
I just got called, I mean, before I came up to this meeting.
But the only time I know we have some issues with online is when it's a bank deduction, and the bank has to cut us a check, and then because of the mail delays, we don't actually credit that account till we get the check in hand. And I know we had one of those last week that we were going to shut off, and we didn't because we knew the check was on the way. But it's all they have to do is call us, and we'll be happy to get to the bottom of the problem and work with them. We don't want to shut anybody off. We certainly don't want to do that.
I'm just expressing he was rather upset, and I'm trying to...
Have him call tomorrow first thing.
I will, and I will give you his number also.
Okay, I'll be happy to call him, sure.
Yeah, that was the question I had.
No problem, yep.
Does anybody else have any questions for the mayor? Hearing none, moving on, Safety Service Director's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few things on my report tonight, and the first one was about the parking lots, and it actually says the Crazy Fox Dillingers in the parking lot behind, or at Picking, and that should be the Legion. Well, I didn't type it, so.
Dellingers.
So, but Lynn, as you guys already know, Lynn's working on those, and we should have the cost for all three of those come the June 17th meeting on Thursday night for us to review. And I'll probably have Lynn come and.
The Legion on there too?
Yeah, it'll be the Picking, Crazy Fox Dillingers, and Picking Park.
So you're gonna have three
Yeah,
estimates.
yeah. And hopefully, I think they originally had Picking part of the mill and pave, but he might try to put all three of those parking lots together and do it as one. So we might get better bids to have a better price. So he's working on that, and he said he should be ready by the 17th.
Okay, need a motion to refer those to Public Lands and Building and Finance.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The second item on Mueller Pool, we are scheduled to open on Saturday. We did get it fixed, and they had to do a little more cleaning today. But the diving boards are installed, the slides are ready to go, and we got a good staff, it looks like, our manager comes from the Y, so he's got a lot of experience. So hopefully we'll have a good time at the pool this year. Edgewood Drive, the bid opening for this project is on Thursday, June 3rd at 10 a.m. at Council Chambers. We will have a public meeting in June after we open bids and award the project to a contractor. The Little League is putting on a tournament, their Atomic Tournament, June 11th, 12th, and 13th. They are expecting over 30 teams to be playing at All Mueller Park and at Colonel Crawford. And they have partnered up at Lions Field too. They've done a lot of work over there. The way it sounds, Babe Ruth is going to be back next year for 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. So they've partnered up with the Adult League to get those fields back.
I see one of our local residents out there doing a bunch of work one day and with the dirt and stuff.
Yeah, so they've done a lot to them already, but they're working together to bring that age group back. So, look, this tournament, the whole park will be packed for probably 3 days, so. The Cdbg grant we applied for through the county commissioners, unfortunately, we didn't get. It went to 2 other entities, so we'll have to reapply next year for that. Crawford Soil and Water District, they're gonna be painting 4 storm drains throughout the city just to educate people that where this water actually goes into the Sandusky River, not the sewer. It's just something they've been doing in a couple other communities, and I think they're gonna do a total of 4. So if you see some blue water and some fish around a storm drain, they're gonna do one at All Miller and one on Sandusky and a couple other spots. I didn't bring all the addresses, so if you see those, that's what they're up to. The State Route 98 water line has been completed. It came in around $390,000. When we got out to bid, it was estimated at $423,000. So we did have about a $34,000 savings, which part of that's an OPWC grant, and that gets a little complicated on percentages and splits. But it has been finished beside the seeding and grass work and landscaping. So all went well. I do have a couple other items that I didn't have on your list. I wanted to remind everybody, garbage pickup is Monday, July 5th, will be Tuesday, July 6th. Please have it out by 7 a.m. And I also want to give you an update on Stetzer Road. We mailed out letters to ask for a deposit. We thought the letter was pretty clear, and so we got a few phone calls. We got an email from one of the commissioners, and we sent out another letter to make sure they understood about the deposit, because they were under the understanding they might not get it back at all, and that wasn't the case. So we got that clarified, and I don't know, I didn't, Greg was off today, but I think we're roughly around 15, but I'm getting 2-3 calls a day, and they got till June 14th to get the deposit in, so we know we can go out to bid.
I have a question, Jeff.
Yes?
You said that we did not receive the Cdbg grant. Does that mean that the sidewalks that we discussed?
Yeah.
Or is this for that was for last year?
Well, that would be for this year's grant.
So those
but they
sidewalks are
went
a
somewhere
no.
else. Yeah.
Is that what, okay.
No, that's, Lisa, what that means is they're not gonna fund them. So if we wanna do them ourselves, we have to pay for the whole thing.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
Is the water flowing on that new water line yet on 98?
Yeah, it was pressure test last week, and we got some work to do to one of the towers, but not that it's on my list, but we were gonna do it here the next week coming up, but we wanna make sure that water lines, we don't have any issues with it, so we're gonna wait till the fall.
Okay, Mr. McKeever?
I do know one resident did bring their check up today to pay for their deposit.
Well, like I said,
She had a question, she asked me about, what does this mean, I never get any of it back? I said, no, you get your money back if it fell through.
If we didn't do the project. So we clarified that in another letter.
And she came up, brought her money, so.
Any other questions for Service Director, Mr. Truca?
I just want to make sure that I'm on the list for Rose Court on street repair. Concrete is actually missing on Rose Court, and there's nothing in the holes on Rose Court. Maybe we could get out there and maybe put some blacktop in those big voids that are on Rose Court.
We can do that.
Anybody else for Service Director? Hearing none, moving on to the Law Director, Mr. Ratliff.
Thank you, sir. A couple of quick updates. 331 Blickey Street, we had hoped that a nonprofit was going to be able to take that over and repair it. We've since looked at it. There's basement walls are collapsing, so it's going to be a tear down. We're going to work with the land bank, see if there's some land bank money that can be used. They have a new round of funding, so we'll see. 1160 Whetstone, which was the property that burnt down that we tore down. We did prevail in the court action on that, so the court has awarded that lot to us. So we'll be coming back to you guys for permission to sell that once we get all the orders and everything in place. Mr. McKeever, Lynn McKeever, did complete the drawing for that easement, so I'll bring the pictures of that to you guys on Thursday, so you'll have those and you can see what it looks like on a map. By way of DORA update, Aaron Stein, they did have the meeting. Aaron Stein emailed me their draft of the DORA application. I made some suggestions, probably lengthy ones. They're upgrading that a little bit, but you'll have it. You can look at it on Thursday, discuss any input, anything you want to consider. Try to get it as final format as we can before we start publicizing it and having public hearings, because if we go through that process and we want to make changes to it, then we go all the way back to the beginning. So get it as right as possible in the first instance. Friday, first movie night of the year, Mr. McGorium's Wonder Emporium, sponsored by Good Hope Lutheran Church. Thank you very much to the Good Hope Lutheran Church, and we'll see you there.
Does anybody have any questions?
I do. When the city owns land, is there a list located somewhere where
People can go to look to purchase.
Has to be sold at public auction, or we can transfer it to the CIC, and the CIC can sell it.
Do we, when we do these public auctions, is there a certain specific date that you put the notice out, or
No,
just keep an eye on in the paper?
right, or contact, anybody that has interest, if there is a city-owned lot that they're aware of, that, contact my office, we
Okay.
can make sure that they do get notified. We have one that's out for bid right now. I think the bid opening is June 11th, the Lucas Street property.
Yeah, 114 Lucas.
Yeah, I think that's, I think June 11th is the date on that, so.
Come mow the grass, would you?
Yeah, mow the grass.
Oh, did I say
So
that?
yeah, subliminal, is that? So that's one, but yeah, if somebody's interested in a lot, definitely call our office. Whetstone Street is one that, that's a buildable residential lot, so that has some value.
So houses that need to be repaired, like say this was a business that they wanted to buy these homes and repair them and sell them. You have houses like that available in the CIC? Is that what you're saying, or no?
No, the only actual physical house that we own right now is the Blicky Street one. And it's pretty bad. If somebody thinks they can fix it, definitely give us a call.
Most of the time, by the time
But,
they get them, Lisa, they're already beyond the point of
Yeah,
saving.
when we get a house back from tax foreclosure, by the time it gets through that process, yeah. And I just checked with the treasurer's office today and got the list of all the ones, taxis, whatever. Yeah, that buys those properties. So they end up sitting for a long time. And like Blicky Street, it takes so long by the time it finally gets back to us, because there's not a way for us to foreclose upon it early or to seize it early. A lot of times there's just nothing left. And we have a list of houses that, we target that are vacant or abandoned right now. I think we have in excess of 80 on the Mo list.
It's somewhere around there.
Yeah, about 80 houses that are vacant or abandoned that the city
we don't actually own, but we were mowing them?
Exactly.
So do we have a ordinance that you've been preparing to try to take care of some of that?
We do.
Public lands?
Well, we've got several versions, and the most recent version, I think we've shared with the committee. The most recent version we put together has, the vacant and abandoned building issues, but we also switch from a criminal fines to civil fines. It's very hard to prosecute corporations. It's hard to prosecute people that don't exist. And that's one of the things that we found with taxis and the foreign businesses and the foreign entities. We've got several houses in town that are owned by a company in Puerto Rico. We've got some that are owned by defunct LLCs that don't exist anymore. Civil fine.
For me, this is foreclosed on by a bank, so all the people that they foreclosed on.
Yeah, well, because the banks, when they foreclose, they don't transfer it into their name, because then they'd have to pay for it. Yeah, but yeah, with the civil fine process, and a lot of cities have went to that, because the civil fine process allows you to levy the fine And then if they don't pay the fine, then it allows you to go to court and try to seize the property based on the non-payment of the fine, which shortens the foreclosure process because then you don't have to rely on the county to do the foreclosure. You can just attach it. Like, you know, one of the prime examples is 1021 Sandusky. It's been vacant for as long as I've been here. It's a beautiful old house, but, you know.
Are you ready to bring that updated version back to Health and Safety Thursday?
Yeah, anytime. I think you guys have it.
You want to re-email that so we can
Sure.
review it and we can put it on the agenda Thursday?
Yeah.
Email to the council clerk, that way you get it package. I don't know where it was
As well.
previously. Another question over here?
Yeah. Did you open it?
Well, no, go ahead.
I know I said something a couple times before about looking into some of the things that the other cities were doing, so if we can get this where we can get them faster, if there's a way that we can get them to people faster by making them less expensive, like even if we could find somebody who can fix basement walls, if they're willing to live in that house on Blicky Street after, while they're fixing it up and have it fixed up and livable within a year, and up to code.
It's bad, and yeah, I mean, the Blicky Street one is really bad.
That's one of the worst houses I've seen in the city.
Yeah. And so there are some really bad ones. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that CIC is in place for. You know, if we obtain properties, as a city, if we obtain a property through enforcement of a lien or any of those types of things, then yeah, we can run those kind of programs out of CIC. That's what they're built for.
Drew, did you have something?
No,
Okay, any last, Mr. Main?
Current events on Mansfield Street this morning, there was a fire.
Big fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Already been condemned?
Yeah, our property maintenance inspector has an in with the fire department, so he knew about it pretty quick. Yeah, we went down there, it was in rental property, Ron Worcester, rental property. He had actually owned the one next door that burnt,
But was that
2 years ago.
property already condemned? They caught fire today?
Yeah, we condemned it today.
No, he's saying.
Oh,
not
no, it
prior
wasn't
to
condemned
fire.
previously, no. No, it was condemned after the fire. There was people living in it. It was a decent house. Yeah, but it's condemned now. I think it's pretty much a total loss. Yeah, there was a lot of ambulances there, so I stopped this morning, but no injuries. So, yeah.
The siding milled off 2 years ago and burned down.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the law director? Now move on to the auditor, Schiffer.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have statement of cash position from May 31st.
Joyce, is your microphone?
Statement of cash position from May 31st. You've got the income tax comparisons, and you got the revenue tallies to budget. So you can peruse all those things, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them, or you can bring them up on Thursday. I will be here Thursday.
The agenda says June 1st, but it should say May 31st. Just FYI, in case somebody gets confused.
And I do have a couple referrals. We've received insurance deposits in the amount of $20,000 for 2 properties that had fires recently. So we need to appropriate from unappropriated derelict building liability funds that $20,000 so that when these properties are brought back to safe condition, we can refund that money. And we need to make a transfer within the 2021 Crime Victim Assistance Fund from personal services to materials and supplies. Our victim advocate requested this change through the Attorney General's office, since this is a grant, and he has to have their permission before we can actually move the money. They have granted that, and we're going to transfer $1,000 from the personal services into materials and supplies, because there's some items that he has needed, so. All for $1,000, yeah. And then I'll have the breakdowns for the committee Thursday evening.
I need a motion to refer appropriations to the Finance Committee.
Second.
Who first did that?
Vote.
Miss-
Myers.
Mr. Foat
Sure did.
and Mr. Myers was second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay. The treasurer report that was dated April 30th, 2021 was distributed at the May 18th, 2021 meeting. Need a motion to accept and file.
Vote, also.
Me and Lisa. I first did, she
Okay,
seconded.
Foat and Lisa. Wait. That,
There's the meeting. Hear that?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No police chief report, no fire chief report. Need a motion to accept city officers' reports.
So moved.
Same.
Is that Foat and Lisa again?
Yep.
Sure was.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Visitors' input regarding reports of standing and special committees and of city officers. Is there anybody who wants to address council? Reference to reports? Hearing none. Does anybody need a recess?
No, thank
Make
you.
it through.
If we can turn the heat on instead of cold, that'd be
I was
great.
getting ready to say yes.
Okay, consideration of proposed legislation for the first time. We have the ordinance 13, 2021 from Public Lands and Buildings. So you are going to read,
No, the 13, the one with, where we changed the wording to, for the rooms.
what's that?
I have a question. Each one of these ordinances says in declaring it an emergency.
They're all on the
Is that
agenda because,
standard wording
well, they was requested out of their committee as
as
emergency.
emergency legislation? Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
So you just read that through. Just read that to there.
Ordinance number 13-2021, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 111, Council, Rules of Council of the Title III Legislative of Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Bucyrus, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, that's referred to Public Lands and Buildings, and then, where's the next one? Read that,
Ordinance number 16-2021,
as amended, say
as amended, repealing and replacing ordinance number 12-2020, the Table of Human Resources Staffing Organization for the City of Bucyrus, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. And ordinance number 17-2021 as amended, repealing and replacing ordinance number 25-2020, establishing the compensation and human resource staffing, sick leave and vacation of employees of various departments in the city of Bucyrus, Ohio, and enacting in its place legislation pertaining to the compensation and human resource staffing, sick leave and vacation of employees of various departments in the city of Bucyrus, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Need a motion to accept those as a first reading.
Second.
Is that McKeever and Foat?
And then vote. Slow down, kids.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Public participation, those are referred back to originating committee. Public participation, any member of the general public may present their input or comment on legislation that's been read for the first time. Is there anybody?
I think Chuck's good.
Okay, committee reports on pending legislation, public lands and building.
Public lands and buildings is favorable to ordinance 13, 2021. Very appropriate.
Finance is favorable to ordinance number 16-2021 as amended on billets. Finance is also favorable to ordinance 17-2021 as amended for manpower.
We're gonna have to go, the recorder ran out of batteries.
That's what I was just explaining to her. I'm like, that's not a various
That's not very
appropriation.
appropriation.
Under ordinance 13-2021, it's listed as various appropriations for public lands and buildings. That's not correct. Should be chapter 111.
It's an error on the agenda.
Chapter 111.
Okay, the battery in the recorder stopped.
Do we need to grab another one?
3-minute recess?
If you gotta get a new battery, you might as well call a recess, because she needs a restroom, he needs a restroom.
Okay. We'll do a 5-minute recess.
He meant me,
We'll do a 5-minute recess at 8:40.
And my mic's off anyway.
Meeting's back in session at 8:45 PM. We called a 5-minute recess at 8:40 due to the recorder batteries here died. Okay. And also, it was noted on the agenda that the committee report on pending legislation under ordinance 13-2021 should have, instead of saying various appropriations, should have said chapter 111. We need a motion to accept the committee reports.
So moved.
Second.
That was Myers and McKeever. Okay. Further consideration of pending legislation, also this subject on 13-2021 is on the agenda wrong here for, shouldn't be various appropriations, should be chapter 111. For the second and third readings of proposed ordinance number 13-2021, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
Second.
So, Foat and Sherrick, that's how you know, first and second. So now you're gonna call each one of their names, and whatever they vote, you're gonna mark it down to yes or no. And start with Foat, and then go Sherrick, and then go down there.
Vote.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear my name said right, I couldn't understand.
Alsept.
Jeez.
Yes.
Sherrick.
Yes.
Truca.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 13-2021?
So moved. Second.
Okay, it was Foat
Both in McKeever.
and McKeever.
Foat.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Truca.
Yes.
Sherrick.
Yes.
Alsept.
Yes.
Ordinance number 13-2021 is duly adopted. For the second and third reading of proposed ordinance number 16-2021 as amended, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved.
Second. Truca has second.
Was that Foat first?
Yes.
And Sherrick second.
Foat.
Yes.
Sherrick.
Yes.
Alsept.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Truca.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 16-2021 as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Vote.
Vote and Sherrick.
Vote and Sherrick. Sherrick.
Yes.
Vote.
Yes.
Alsept.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Truca.
Yes.
Ordinance number 16-2021 as amended is duly adopted. For the second and third reading of proposed ordinance number 17-2021 as amended, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the readings of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved. Second.
It's McKeever and Foat.
McKeever.
Yes.
Vote.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Truca.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Sherrick.
Yes.
Alsept.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 17-2021 as amended?
So moved. Second.
It's Foat and McKeever.
Vote.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Truca.
Yes.
Sherrick.
Yes.
Alsept.
Yes.
Ordinance number 17-2021 as amended is duly adopted. Old and unfinished business. We didn't have any on the agenda. Did anybody have any? New business. Now we need a vote of council to appoint Rebecca Van Hesteren as council clerk.
So
Wait, Mr. President, I apologize in advance for throwing this dead fish out there on the floor. The mayor hasn't signed those ordinances yet. They don't go into effect until he signs them, and he's left. I don't know if he intends to sign them or not. I assume that he does, but they don't technically go into effect until he signs them. So I don't know that you want to make the appointment.
We can do it retroactive later next
Yeah, well, and that's what I was gonna say, you need to do it retroactively anyways, because Rebecca was here today, so it needs to be retroactive to today, or whatever time she started today. And the motion, when the text of the motion should state what the hourly rate is, and that all benefits as stated in the manpower ordinance for that position. I was gonna give you the language on that, spit that out, but
In the ordinance or in the motion?
in the motion, so just so the motion's clear and it sets those things out.
The 32
Because
hours
Joyce
a
will need
week.
that for the auditor, and she'll want to be able to show them the minutes that we did that. But also, as I was just telling Mr. McKeever that the mayor left, and those ordinances technically aren't official until he signs them, so.
Well, they need to be revised. I mean, we signed them as amended, but it's a
Right.
strikeout and everything that's in there now.
Right.
So-
Right, so, and the mayor can take up to 10 days to sign them. I assume he's gonna sign them right away, but, you know, just so you might wanna maybe, since Thursday, do a special, since everybody will be here, maybe 5 minutes before or after, do a special and make that appointment, that thing, just so everything is
Okay, so don't make the motion right now is what you're saying?
right.
Okay.
Maybe confirm with him that he's gonna sign them and then schedule the special for
Yeah,
Thursday.
they should be signed by Thursday, and then I'll, whoever's making the motion at that special, I'll make sure we write it all down.
He's handed to Mark.
Yeah.
Um,
So that we cover everything for, that way, when the auditor asks Joyce for proof what the rate of pay is and all that stuff, it'll be in the minutes.
So that means it needs to be corrected first thing in the morning and presented to him?
well, he has technically 10 days to
Yes.
sit on a veto.
Right.
Well, I don't.
If we're trying to do a
and I don't-
special on Thursday.
Yeah, and I don't mean to insinuate any of that's happening, I just,
No, but
because
if
he
we're trying
left,
to
I
do a
know he's
special
gonna
for
sign.
Thursday, we would want to see if he could get it signed prior, so we can get it on the,
Yeah,
it's got
we
that
could-
24-hour notice or whatever.
Yeah, we should probably go ahead and send the notice out. If we have to cancel it, we can cancel it, but we at least get the notice out tomorrow
You think,
so that,
you think
like,
10 minutes prior to the
Yeah,
6 PM?
5:55 or whatever.
Okay.
You know, It's just gonna be real quick.
Special council meeting, 5:50 PM Thursday.
And I'll make sure you have the language for the
Thursday,
motion. and everything in it.
yeah.
10 minutes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin anybody.
Sure you did, sure you did.
Rain on the parade.
And that always brought up my,
Um,
I was always wondering, because of the way we had been doing it with the ordinance, specifically stating that person, could it even be done that way legally, given that the mayor had a veto power over the hiring of the clerk?
Yeah, it'd still be effective, yeah. But no, I see what you're saying on the legal aspects of the mayor having the veto power of the clerk. Interesting question.
It is. I don't know if anybody else in the state's ever been.
You brought it up before, and I looked, I couldn't find anything, in any case law or anything where it's come up before.
Okay, so we're gonna table that until
5:50 Thursday.
5:50 special meeting.
You better send an email out.
At least a text. I forget.
That's Rebecca's job, right?
The 3rd, June 3rd.
Rebecca sent me
Well,
a
she's getting
text.
paid retroactively, so she'll be paid.
As long as she reminds everybody to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, then,
Your job is in your hands.
new business, that bid opening's already been brought up on June 3rd at 10 AM for the Edgewood Drive repaving. Thursday, June 3rd, regular committee meeting, 6 PM, preceded by the 5:50 special meeting. Friday, June 11th, there's a bid opening, the 1140 East Lucas Street property, 10 AM. All those bid openings are happening in council chambers too, by the way. Does anybody have any other new business?
No, but I have a question. When you open those things up for bid, say that property on Lucas Street, is that a property that people are able to view, or is it just like another type of property where you go up and there's an auction? But
No.
it's silent. so
Yeah,
it's
no,
bids?
the way we do bids on properties when we sell the house properties is anybody, we do it publicly, and then anybody that's issued a qualifying bid, we open up all the bids, and if they're qualifying bid, then everybody that had entered a qualifying bid can at that hearing or at that meeting raise their bid if they so chose. So if we have 4 or 5 people that are interested in the property and they all bid $1,000,
Okay,
and
are
they
they
can.
able to view the property prior to?
Yes.
Right next door to Watt.
Yes, and normally, like with Mary Street, we set up certain dates and times or by appointment.
And
114
this
Loop.
is just a lot, right?
Yeah, this one's easy to view, drive
Okay.
by on your way from the meat
Gotcha.
market and,
Do not see it.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
but,
Okay.
It needs the grass mowed, if you want to swing by, I
Right,
mean.
right, get a feel for the place.
Yeah, by all
Understand.
means, I'll appreciate it.
when you're getting gas, you can see it, it's right there.
Does
Fix
anybody
the
have
sidewalk.
any other new
if you don't mind,
business?
I mean,
Nothing.
Nobody has anything else?
No. So moved.
Seconded of a motion to adjourn if that's what you'd like.
He's not there.
Well, I'm not there yet. We gotta discuss the referrals from this meeting. So far, we have,
Stuff with you again.
I'll let you read them, because Todd always read them.
We
Liquor
have
licenses.
the liquor licenses going to health and safety. The city parking lot's going to finance and public lands and building, and then the appropriations, referring the appropriations going to finance.
And if anybody on their committee has anything that you want brought up and that's already an open project, get a hold of us first thing in the morning.
Vacant building ordinance for health and safety.
I think that might have already been an open
I
project.
think so too, just tell me so you can throw it on the agenda.
Okay.
We'll just
It has
write
been for a
various
while.
open projects on the agenda for everybody, as we usually do.
That's been open
Okay.
since I came on council.
Motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
moved and seconded.
Got Foat and Sherrick. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned at 8:59 PM.